Welcome to day 3 of Realms Deep. My name's Jared, and I'm excited to have you with me today. Today, we're going to be spending some time looking at the things that have gone on at the... Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh, hi, Jared. You didn't expect me, did you? You were the host, but now I am. It's the GM takeover, the real Realms Deep. But things are getting a bit more dark. No. After dark. Welcome. .3D Realms, we've got big ideas. We're going to be a big company. We're going to make lots of money. Boomer shooters? Yeah, sure, we make those. You know what else we make? RTS. Remember the 90s? I do. Tempest Rising. Good game? Yes. Money. Lots of it. And to talk to you about one of 3D Realms' most ambitious projects, here is Brandon Castile, the lead designer with Helping Hands.
Bio command uplink initializing. Please stand by.
Hey everybody, I'm Helping Hands, a content creator, loves covering strategy games. I'm here joined with Wayward Strategist, and I'm going to ask him a couple of questions today on Tempest Rising. So here's the question number one. The game is heavily inspired by Command & Conquer. How are you going to stand out and not be seen by some who would say it's a clone?
So that's a great question. When I first was brought into the project, Fred, the game director and CEO of 3D Realms, he and I bonded over a mutual appreciation for Command & Conquer, but I've never wanted to create a game that is just an exact derivative of something that already exists. You'll notice, obviously, from the footage that we've already shown, that we kind of wear our inspirations on our sleeves a lot. And we did target the original reveal to kind of lean into our inspirations and our roots in classic real-time strategy games like Command & Conquer, Warcraft, and StarCraft. Over the next couple of months, I'm really excited to be able to show off some of the unique things that we're doing with our factions. One thing that we haven't had a chance to show off yet is each faction has a unique resource system that's unique to itself that we're using to help differentiate them from each other. So for instance, the GDF have a resource called Intel that they collect through combat and they spend on unit abilities and units. Now, of course, this is all subject to change. We're still in the middle of all this. But we think that that's going to give the GDF a pretty unique character, that they're going to have to go out there and combat their enemy to be able to generate intel to be able to use to do many of the things they're going to want to do. Additionally, our Dynasty faction, they're very power focused. They're very focused on different uses for their power that they generate from the power plants. One of the coolest things I think that the Dynasty can do is they can actually turn off a power plant, converting it from what we call production mode to distribution mode. And in distribution mode, the power plant will actually speed up the production and combat capabilities of nearby structures. And that lets the Dynasty, have kind of an oh crap button if they're attacked, or they can kind of go into hyper production mode, but they have to be able to afford the power hit to be able to do that. We've got some additional power-related systems that will build on that later on, but we have these kind of layered-on systems that we think make our game pretty unique, and we're really I'm really excited to be able to show those off as they're kind of more ready for prime time over the next couple of months.
What's your maybe favorite mechanic or mechanics that are in Tempest Rising?
We hinted at one of them at Gamescom with our Riot Medic. We have a system in both single player and multiplayer called Specialists. In single player, Specialists are individual named characters that you perform missions for and you gain access to. You can basically pick which of the specialists you want to recruit and have on your side throughout the course of the game. And in multiplayer, we didn't want these really cool characters to not be present, so they are present in multiplayer as well, but in a different way. So in single player, it's something you recruit between missions and that you have to earn their trust before you're able to use them in combat.
Sage mission. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Race. Roll out.
Ready. Spinning her up. Operator.
I'm listening.
How long has the game been in development for?
So the game has been in development for 3 years. I was brought on in early 2020. So I've been involved for about 2. I was involved right at the end of us pitching our vertical slice, and here I've been ever since. But yeah, since about 2019.
Unit ready.
No problem. Got it. Surveying. Spinning her up. No problem.
Are there any unique units that will blow players away? If we're thinking about Command and Conquer, I always remember maybe the Tester Troopers from Red Alert 2, which I thought were really cool. Or like the Yuri unit, which could brainwash units, things like that. So they always stand out to me as like really cool and impressive units. What does Tempest Rising have on offer?
The GDF have a unit called the Scrambler. It's a late tier harassment unit. It's tier 3. It's you get it pretty late on in the game, but it has the ability to become invisible when it's not attacking, and it fires very long-range missiles at air and ground targets. So it's this phenomenal ambush. It's fast, it's long-ranged, and it can become invisible. They're very, very annoying to deal with. Our playtesters love messing with people with the Scrambler. It's made of glass, it's made of paper, but it's very annoying to deal with.
Receiving. On your command.
Unit ready.
Artillery standing by.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Training.
Acknowledged, command.
In terms of like the effort going into towards the campaign and the multiplayer, is it evenly distributed amongst the dev team, or is it you guys are like, okay, we want to really push out the campaign, make sure that's polished and done, or you also have a dedicated side that's like, yo, we want to have a really good multiplayer and have it competitive so that we can, build off of that. What's the kind of feeling in the for that?
That's a good question. I think at this point, just because it's a lot more effort intensive, it's a lot more manpower intensive, we're putting a big focus on the quality of the single player campaign. We've got cutscenes before and after each mission. We've got the command compound where you're talking to characters face to face. That's a lot of dev effort. A lot of work from a lot of people goes into making that look and work the way that it does. But multiplayer absolutely is very important to us as well. Just at this phase right now, a lot of our effort is focused specifically on polish and quality for single player.
Get to work.
This guy's Henrik. He's lovely. You know who else is lovely? Frederick Strom, and he's made Combustion. You remember the PS1? Well, you should, and this is better. It looks better, but it's got that feel. You play a cat, there's fires, you're a police officer? More like a police officer. Here's Frederick Strom.
Hello everyone, I'm Fredrik Ström, creative director on the game Combustion. Combustion is a third-person action RPG with mild immersive sim qualities, depending on how much do you like the term immersive sim. Taking place in 1997 in the fictional city of Norun, a city composed entirely of oil rigs. In this city, you play as police officer Calico, who's tasked with maintaining order in a chaotic and tense situation. It's your job as a policeman to stop the criminal elements from doing their nefarious deeds and restore order to the situation. It's a grim and dark diesel punk setting where oil is key. In this city, there's a lot of growing tension as the criminal element is rising and people are getting desperate as a post-war economy fails to meet the demand for oil. You play as Officer Calico, PC-31. It's your job to maintain order in this setting, along with colleagues, to arrest suspects, save civilians, and restore order. You'll be following up investigations, interrogating suspects, and confiscating illegal goods. You'll also be performing CPR Putting out fires, both figurative and literal, are all part of the job in Combustion. We are equipped with a special baton that has special properties. It's a high-tech device with several built-in gadgets, including a lasso and a freezing spray to put out those fires. It also has an electrical feature to stun certain enemies. You'll be needing all of these to arrest the more difficult suspects on your mission. Combustion, living up to its name, of course features a lot of iconography involving fire, a lot of visuals with fire in them. And you'll see that when you think about it, of those old games in the 90s. So the look of Combustion is something I quite like. It's in the genre that's been described as diesel punk. It's a step in between your steampunk or cyberpunk. It's predominantly 20th century technology. It's heavy diesel engines and CRT monitors, and you'll see that reflected in the game and the technology you see. The lighting is something that's very important to me in the game. You'll see a lot of rim lighting, colored shadows. Combustion is a love letter to the console games of the mid to late 90s, the era where suddenly 3D gaming became possible in the home. The game very much takes inspiration from the games you saw in the mid to late 90s, but it's also in the way you remember them. It uses new technology to get that old feel. So the models are on point with everything you could see on those consoles, but you see a lot more impressive lighting effects that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't pre-rendered at the time. I heard deeply by the games that I played of the era, and you probably know the ones I'm talking about. And the great thing, I think, is that I sort of get to live that nostalgia in development. And I'm very excited to be able to do the things I've always wanted to do now with 3D Realms. Like one of the things in the Kickstarter, one of the initial Kickstarter goals was the now hopefully iconic motorcycle scene in the game, which wasn't initially possible when it was just me developing the game. Because the scope of the game made it so that I really had to focus on the main character and his movement around the world. Having this mini-game sequence was something I really always wanted to do, and now thanks to 3D Realms and the good help of Mologato, who you might know from Frogran, is now possible, so I'm very thankful for that. So Combustion started with just me alone doing a Kickstarter. Initially it was quite difficult to develop this game just by myself, just because the scope and the ideas I had just kept growing. It's only now, after having additional help and people developing my game, that we're actually going to be delivering on the entire idea that I first initially thought about. And to me that's like the best thing in the world. I couldn't really be more excited about doing this. Thank you so much for taking an interest, for watching the trailer and everything. There's more to come, and I hope you will visit our Steam page and wishlist our game Combustion. So stay tuned here at Realms Deep, and take care.
Hello and welcome to a very exciting little show we've got for you here on day 3 of Realms Deep. We're going to be looking at one of the most exciting projects coming out of the company. It's Rip Out, and joining me today is Goran. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, good. Third day, still rocking.
I feel the same way. Let's talk Rip Out then. What is your role on the project currently?
Officially, I'm the project director. The creative director. Creative director.
Big
yeah.
title.
Big title. Not that big of a company, but a big title.
Come on. And first of all, I just want to get your feeling, not so much on what Rip Out is, but why Rip Out is. So, in your own words, why are you excited to be on this project?
I love body horror. So 80s, The Thing, The Fly, all that Cronenberg and John Carpenter stuff, mixed with old school sci-fi.
Gotcha.
So all those things, and definitely I'm a big fan of Biomax. So as much as possible, everything is in this game is like what the team wanted to do for a long time, and put all that nice gory sci-fi stuff in, and adding some flair of our own.
And it's always so nice to talk to someone who is so passionate about it, so excited to be on the project. And one of the great things is we're about to watch 12 minutes of Rip Out.
Yep.
Little bits of highlight, and we're going to talk about the game. One of the great things, you're talking a lot there about visual influences. You get to see it. This game looks fantastic.
Thank you.
We have the footage of that because, as a movie man myself, there is a very good lesson, and that is very simply show, don't tell. So, should we do some showing?
Oh yeah.
Let's go. So here we are in Rip Out, and one of the first things I want to touch on in this game that is very unique, the procedural generation.
Yep.
Talk to me as a designer, first of all. What challenges does that bring, and what do you think it really enables you to do?
Well, I'll start with enabling because that's where we started. Like,
it's more fun.
We wanted players to go into the unknown every time. So that was the big challenge to make it different. Every time you go into a ship, you never know what to expect. This is something we love about sci-fi horror, like going down dark corridors, going into the unknown. So in co-op games, you get to learn maps by heart too often. So we wanted to go the opposite route, just do everything different every time you go in, where the monsters are spawning, the layout of the ships, the layout of the loot, and configuration of the monsters as well. So obviously what the difficulties were, when you don't know how it's going to play out, you have to do a lot of balancing. You have to make up a lot of rules along the way that will ensure that it's always exciting and it brings that tense atmosphere, even though it's randomly generated. Gotcha. So from the technical standpoint, again, using Unreal Engine, we have to do all the lighting real time. Everything is the nav mesh procedural generation also is real time. So there was a lot of technical aspects to doing it as well. So we are finally nearing the completion of all the features now. We are polishing up the game, and hope you'll see the results very soon.
And I think some of the results, well, a lot of them are already here. And so a lot of people are going to be looking at this. They're going to be looking at the pet. They're going to be looking at the ability, the blink ability. They're going to be looking at. One thing I really want to talk about is this focus on not large rooms of monsters and choosing which monster to shoot, but where to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
But procedural generation. First, I just want to stick on this 1 second. What is the extent of the procedural generation? How random is random?
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are obviously some things that are not completely random in order not to generate like chaos. Yes. Yeah, that's a problem. So there will be, as you begin the game, there will be a limited number of monster types and upgrade types and room types. But as you go along, that number increases and the variety and like the combinations increase. So the things that were done by hand, like are not procedural, is separate locations. Like we blend locations together in a different configuration every time. So some things are done by hand and are fixed. But again, even these locations will have different monster spawns and a lot of different like loots and obviously some walls and some traps that are also different every time. So even those things have a random element to it, as well as getting some upgrade stations and resurrection stations along the way. So they all move around all the time. And the monster combinations, like the monsters are combining with the smaller critters, and they get these new abilities along the way. So that's also random. What sorts of monsters and little critters are going to spawn in the room, and what combination you're going to get. So we even in the studio don't know what happens in each room. So that's quite random.
So I think a lot of scope there, and one of the things you're going to hit is this is a big game in a lot of ways, right? So you're expecting people to play a lot of it.
Yeah. I hope so.
No, I'm sure you will. And let's really knuckle down and look at what's in front of us here. The first feature that comes to mind when I first played the game, the most unique thing, the most memorable thing, is the exact name, pet gun, pet.
Pet gun.
Pet gun.
Yeah, pet
right,
gun.
the pet gun. Where did this idea come from?
Well, it was like from Biomex, biotechnology, like mixing these organics and metal. Like we like that, and then we said, okay, a lot of games before used to do that. Like you had a lot of great examples in Half-Life and Prey, the old Prey. Obviously H.R. Geiger does it, so we wanted to take it a step further, so not only the looks, like it only say, okay, this is a biotech weapon, but also it actually moves, it actually has a life of its own. And from that idea we kind of, okay, how can this affect gameplay? If it's a gun and it's alive, what should it do? So then came the actual feature that it jumps off, and we expanded upon that because it is a world that is populated by these monsters that also are a creation of mutating like computers that this let's say a virus, but it's a cell, we call it the cell, finds around and combines flesh and anything that is living with anything it finds in the environment. So that kind of like caught on with the idea of the pet. So everything actually began with the pet, and these things are also being attached. The pet attaches to them, the small critters attach to them, the pet can get those small critters and attach to the player, so everybody's using everything, and it's all like organic and technology mixed. And we wanted this. This also brings the random elements together, and it brings this idea of organic technology mixing together with everything.
Right. And let's talk a little bit more about what I touched on briefly: the target acquisition.
Yeah.
The focus on where to shoot, not who to shoot.
Yep.
Yeah, first of all, let's just talk about the scope of that. How beatable would these enemies be if you didn't at all consider or concentrate on where to shoot?
Well, they would be much harder. You could beat them, but you'd probably run out of ammo, and the next one would be almost impossible. So it's also like a tactical thing to it. We wanted you to focus on the monster, so not many monsters that takes away the tension. Like too many monsters in a hallway take away the tension. So the idea was, okay, shoot at the weak spots and use your pet to rip out the weak spots. So that was the emphasis. We really wanted like every monster to be a mini-boss. Like it can become a mini-boss when it gets these attachments, it gets stronger, it gets different abilities. So that was also the idea, shoot off these new attachments, shoot off the old attachments, use the pet, run away, restock, and then finish it off. So every encounter has some kind of a new approach to it. Like we wanted every monster to be beat in a different way, and how the players approach it. So not just a mindless stroll through the ship with shooting a lot, but really focusing and learning about the monster and the little abilities that he gets.
what I find really interesting about that is it's sort of a philosophy. I remember when the first fully 3D engine games came out, and suddenly they couldn't have lots of monsters.
Yeah.
And so the monsters had to be more complicated. You've got trajectories of grenades, you know, they had some ideas.
Yeah.
And for me, this is one of the most developed evolutions of that, what can we do with one enemy?
Yeah,
Right.
that's. I mean, you mentioned the old games. I mean, we also went back. Like it's a modern iteration of the old approach to shooters. Like I don't think we're fully like boomer shooter in this, but
Well, I
we
mean, it doesn't
definitely.
look it. It doesn't
Yeah,
look it.
yeah, but in a sense, we you know the attention to the new weapons the old shooters used to have. Like they were very important, like bringing out what is this new FPS gonna have, like in the armory, and what kind of like abilities are the monsters gonna have. So that was kind of old school for us, and bringing it to obviously with the abilities of the new technology, with the new engine, and giving it like this organic look.
Yeah, and let's go back to the looks. One of the, you know, when I asked you what was exciting about this game, it was a lot of visual influences, and it is a lot of the genre, and really specifically here, it is body horror,
Yep.
it is monstrous, but let's talk about fidelity here. 3D Realms has really grown a lot.
Yep.
Very recently as well, and we're seeing some incredibly ambitious projects. In terms of visual fidelity, it's not just a good-looking game because of the way that it's stylized. This is a very modern-looking game as well. What has this really high level of fidelity allowed you to do? What do you think it adds to the atmosphere?
Oh, well, like you mentioned, the body horror first comes to mind, like the details on the organic monsters. We really want to, you know, when you first saw the thing and all those beautifully rendered, not rendered, but made, sculpted monsters in
So glad
in the
that wasn't my job. That must have taken a long time.
Yeah. It was. I think the special effects guy went to the hospital afterwards. So yeah.
I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah, but it was worth it, I think. So that's like skin and tissue and bone and melding with metal. Like this is a very important aspect of body horror. So this is what new modern graphics allow us to do. So this was a big focus of the team, getting that organic feel to all the monsters and how they move and how they exit these flesh mountains or that are scattered through the ship. That was first. Like the monsters are, we were very careful not to have too many monsters, so we can focus on the design and the animations of each monster. So that was very important. Not you know, this game won't feature many types, but it will feature many combinations of these things, and it was very important for us since, like I mentioned, we're not a big team, but we really didn't want to like sacrifice quality for it, but rather like we don't want too much quantity. The quantity comes from randomness, and the quality is from the like there are a lot of time spent on each enemy, on each gun and each critter.
And just looking at this particular sequence, the lighting is so crucial.
Oh yeah.
As much as the models, this is about the lighting, using the darkness. I mean, as old as horror itself.
Yeah.
But you're doing it to great effect here.
I'm glad to hear it. I mean, we really learned, had to learn a lot about Unreal and how the lighting functions, especially the dynamic light, which can be expensive for machines, and try to optimize it. And so we had a lot of playing around with lighting, and we got really satisfactory effects, like lights flicker and switch off, and you can switch them off and on in each level. And the enemies, when they step into electricity, they will also switch off the whole area. It will get dark and then light again, and announcing some events with lights as well. So yeah, obviously lighting is one of the most important tropes of horror. Yeah.
Well, and one of the things I really like is to get a little bit behind the scenes on Realms Deep. One of the great things about this format is we're not telling people about something, we are showing it, and I think everyone at home that just watched that demo or that preview is going to... we don't have to convince anyone of anything, right? They can see it.
Hope so. We're looking forward to it. We're fixing everything. Like we had a demo on Steam Fest in early summer. We got tons of great feedback, and like we spent the last few months just doing this feedback, going through everything, and hoping that everybody who played the demo, when they come back, they'll see that it has been upgraded in every way.
Well, there we go. That has been a little bit of a sneak peek, a little bit of a preview into Rip Out. This has been Goran. Thank you so much for talking with me. What do you have to say to the audience?
Welcome to the final day of Realms Deep, and I'm hoping to see you all when Rip Out launches in the beginning of next year.
Well, there we go. Enjoy the rest of the madness for the rest of the show. Thanks again. Look up Rip Out. Wishlist it on Steam, wishlist it on Epic.
Wishlist on Steam, and it's coming to Epic soon.
There we go. All right, that is Rip Out. Thank you so much, Grant. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thanks, everyone.
"3D Realms didn't make this game, but a guy that works here did. It's my favourite game. It's the best arena FPS there ever was. It's a game as chaotic as, well, this office. It's Doombringer. We played it on LAN. People won. There was champagne. Get hyped. Here it is. Hello and welcome to Realms Deep 2022, here with the beginning of the multiplayer showcase. We're about to play, I'm going to be honest with you, the best game here, the best game in the world, the arena FPS, unlike all others. And I am here. Look at this guy. Christian Kjell. Christus to his friends.
Yes.
Creator, director, visionary, dreamweaver, the man that made Doombringer, along with some help. And we're about to do something pretty cool, aren't we?
Yeah.
This is, as far as I'm aware, and I should know,
As far as I'm aware as well.
the biggest LAN FFA in Doombringer's very long history.
Yes. This is the first time we have this kind of penetration at the LAN.
That'll do.
That is a nice
That
word.
is the Realms Deep lingo, that is the Realms Deep motto, and the two winners of this FFA, top two placings, will be playing a duel shortly after for this bottle of champagne. Credit of Fred, the president of 3D Realms. 3D Realms. And hello. There he is. Anyway, we're about to get into this. Everybody playing in this room, good luck, thank you so much, and let's have some fun. The easiest part of this weekend, because it is a Doombringer FFA, a joy like no other. Christus, are you ready?
I am ready,
Let's hit the button.
and we're live. We are following on. Let's hear.
We have a green man, and here
There
we
we go.
go. What a voice actor that did the announcer for this game. And we are on what map exactly?
This is the bigger version of Purgatory, a long-standing dual map in Doombringer, but this one is more for TDM and free-for-all the game.
And you're currently winning.
Yes, I am very good at this game, as you can understand, from playing it so much. So I'm playing and casting at the same time, even though I don't even hold the mouse right now.
Unbelievable. Here we are then, 8-6. Christian. Sorry, Christian. We have a lot of people with very similar names in here, and I tell you what, it is chaotic, and this is Doombringer, right? This game is, in the best way, a mess.
It's chaos in the best way.
Yes.
And Crystalline, producer of Raft, is actually in the lead. Oh, Hubert took over.
My PA, good lad.
Yeah. He's been practicing for a while today to make sure that he can take on this illustrious bottle of champagne.
Which again is also the best prize in Doombringer history. Apart from when we gave away chunks of money.
Yes.
Good times.
I think Zorak War would probably prefer his money.
Probably. Shout outs to Zorak War. Shout outs to the Doombringer Duel League. Shout outs to everyone that organised that. But yeah, here today, the fun thing here, and this is a great thing about it. This game is incredibly high skill cap, obviously. It's an arena FPS game in the best way.
But it is also
All of these
it's
players,
accessible. They're new and they're fine.
this is the first time they're playing this game today,
Yeah.
and it's still just a wonderful, chaotic.
We love a mess. We do. At Doombringer, we love a mess. I'm a mess. And Doombringer loves me back.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. It is the ethos of the game. It is the ethos of the people that play it. And look at this. New players and grenade launchers in Doombringer, they go hand in hand, don't
Yeah.
they?
Doombringer give it and they take it away, and the grenade launcher is a perfect example of that. It's not so much firing grenades as setting them free.
Yes. And boy, howdy, do they ever run. Like they've just got out of Guantanamo and they're going to be chased all the way back.
Exactly.
Grenades are out of there. Currently, let's take a look. Crystalline with 24.
25.
Tab. I'm gonna have a look. What are we
She
looking at
is
here?
in a respectable lead here, and she's really taking it to the next level. Hubert has some work to catch back here.
And the Doombringers trailing by a lot, as is always the case. People have names. The great thing about Realms Deep, as someone working on it, who has not been here before, is that everyone's an internet person.
Yes.
Which means I love them. On the other hand, they have 4 names each, and there's 20 of them. And I gotta tell you, Christus, I've never been so confused watching a game of Doombringer.
Yes, it takes some time to getting to know everyone because, like as you said, everyone has different names and different names being used by different people. And but it's just part of the whole. It meshes well with Doombringer's free-for-all mode.
You're telling me, as the man who was once described accurately as the second best player in the world, GMT.
Yes.
I know a thing or two about this game.
Yes.
Probably 2 things. And the FFA mode, it's an interesting thing, right? Because in our competitions, we've done a lot of duel.
Yeah.
We've done some 2v2. And then the occasion that we've played FFA, we all realize that this game, and it goes for duel versus 2v2 as well, is a dramatically different beast depending on the mode. And you actually get this variety, and I think it's one of the great things is that there is, depending on the mode you like, something for everyone. Let's talk about this power-up though. We're watching at the moment Crystalline on a tear, got Lung out, shooting people she can't even see. What was that green ring around our screen all about?
That was the ethereal power-up, and it's a completely overpowered power-up in for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Because you're completely immortal for 30 seconds. The benefit of Doombringer though is that because of the knockback is so high, you can actually defend against it by just landing those rockets and pushing that person away, not making it possible to follow you.
Exactly, right? And so there is, even against invincibility, counterplay here, such as the nature, robust design, and genius of Doombringer. I gotta be honest, I like this game, I like you a lot more, and I might be biased.
I might be biased as well. I don't think I am. I think I am very
reasonable
justified in my opinion of this game. But I mean, come new or come old, it's always fun to play. And like you said, it's such a different game in different modes. Had some playing the single player earlier and then switch over to multiplayer, and they just
different game.
Completely different game. And again, then we have other multiplayer modes that are also.
Well, and so this is to talk a little bit about the philosophy of Doombringer as it.
Oh, wait! We actually are about to see Crystalline.
Ooh,
yes,
he's done it, Crystalline. There we go. Hubert in second place.
And Daniel at a very respectable third.
Commiserations to Daniel. Congratulations to Hubert and Crystalline, who will now have the chance to duke it out. Mono e mono 1v1, and it is going to be a duel on. What map do you want? What maps do they know?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. We're
gonna play on. Duel 1 because they just played it.
Because they just played this map, they probably should just do that, yes.
All right, so give us a second. We're going to get right into that game. He's going to press some buttons. I'm going to tell you all about Doombringer.
and what this game is all about, and what the weapon balance does to this game as it pertains to the different modes.
This computer has a problem, sorry.
In 2v2, in FFA, the strength of the weapons, the fact that everyone dies in 1 or 2 shots, means that there is chaos. It means that items are less important. It means that gunplay is super important. However, you turn that around in Duel, and suddenly all of this knockback in the game, all of this ability to kill people, actually turns it into... It's a very diverse experience, but it gives you this ability to play cagey. You can play defensively in Doombringer, because if someone comes around a corner unexpectedly, not only are you going to kill them first, they're going to be 3 miles over that way before they even know what's happened. And so you've got a game that in the single player, the weapon strength is high, but it's relative to the enemies. In FFA, leads to a lot of one-shot kills, a lot of chaos. And then you've got, on the other hand, 2v2, a little bit less, but Duel especially, you've got the caginess, you've got the defensive play that you may know and love from other arena FPS games, but you can do anything. If you're good enough, you can play this game like a speed demon. If you're good enough, you can play this game like a very, very defensive person. That's the thing. Player expression was maybe not champion here in Doombringer. I think the game is very much Chris's vision, and what that means is it's what he likes. But the way that it's manifested is an ability to play however you want. We're going to be right back in just a second with that Duel.
Yeah.
So Hubert, what's going on?
I'm about to get my ass handed by the apparently Queen of Quake of this company. So yeah, 1v1, because I was second on Free For All. And yeah, that's basically what's happening.
No, nice. Right, Christopher, what's going on?
I'm getting ready to play the duel match for Doombringer in the finale. So pretty excited.
Yeah. How do you feel about your chances?
I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty fair match. I'm excited to fight it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And here we are then, we're about to get into this. It is Hubert playing under the names Hugo, very confusingly, up against the winner of that FFA. It is Crystalline, the Director of Wrath.
Yes, and this is going to be an exciting match. Hubert and Crystalline both played this game the first time today. We were on a similar map, the Duel version of the previous map, just to make things easier for them, so they don't have to learn where everything is.
Well,
again,
here we go. Here we go. It's Crystalline versus Hugo, and basically the same. Crystalline should be the big favorite here. Already an engagement. Grenades. Rockets, sorry, not quite enough. 10 seconds in, running away. Is Crystalline going to escape? So far, so good.
So the rocket launcher or the ammo, the ammo in the game, you don't get a lot of ammo from the weapons, meaning she was running out of ammo there, and Hubert lived to fight another day.
Whose idea was that?
That was yours.
There we go. Really, Doombringer is a massive ego trip for the both of us. I like taking credit for what I did, and I tell you to take credit for what you did, and it's a great time for everyone. Crystalline pushes in, and that was clinical.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that Crystalline has a lot of experience playing arena FPS games.
Yes.
Now, Hubert used to go as Quake 3 Arena on
League of Legends.
Yeah. So he probably has some experience with this as well, but Crystalline definitely showing how she has
either more talent or more experience.
Yeah, she has this under control. That is.
It's looking like Zorak War versus Cygnus all over again. And so if you're watching this and you're really wondering about Doombringer, first of all, I'm going to tell you to go to Steam, search Doombringer. Single player is how much?
Right now it's 10 euros because of the Realms Deep sale, but normally it's 15 euros.
There we go. And the multiplayer is free completely. You download the demo and you can join all of your favorites as they just brutally destroy you in Duel, but you'll have a great time in the other modes.
Definitely. And it's And we're currently working on episode 2 of the single player.
Let's talk episode 2.
A lot of new monsters being made, a lot of new maps. Basically blocked out the entire episode and working on making sure that it's as playable as possible before we go in and do the nitty-gritty quality of life things like light, textures, etc. Really excited about some of the monsters coming in, and it's gonna be a lot of fun seeing people play the new maps, which are taking it that much further than the previous episode.
Right, and actually we were talking this morning about dynamic difficulty.
Yes.
Doombringer Episode 1 is a difficult game. Episode 2, it could be more difficult. It's certainly more complicated.
Oh, it's definitely more difficult.
For sure. And one of the things is, in Episode 1, the difficulty mode changes the number of monsters and the placement of items, right?
Yes.
In Episode 2, talk to me about the dynamic geometry that you're using.
Yeah, so the geometry in Episode 2 is more complicated to navigate than Episode 1, and to alleviate it for...
Oh, nice!
But to alleviate this for players who don't want a massive challenge, we are making sure that the game... Oh, nice!
Come back. Oh,
come
the
on.
super shotgun as well. Hubert, he's got too many names. He is trailing by 10, Christus. Do you believe?
I believe.
He believes.
There's plenty of time for Hubert to make this back. He just gotta make sure to control those items that Crystalline has been controlling for the start of the map. Oh, but there comes the Gatling gun and saws Hubert in half.
There it is. It's a brutal game. Crystalline, I feel like, is a couple of nails away from this coffin being well and truly unbreakable. So, in the meanwhile, Hugo with the rocket. Good damage, good damage.
Good damage, definitely good damage. Crystalline is in a tough situation here.
Oh,
yeah,
blunder. That'll happen.
That will happen.
That's how they get you. They being you, mainly.
There was a desperation move on Crystalline's part. She probably didn't notice how little health she was still carrying around. Hubert finding that armor, but yeah, he's leaving that mega. And Crystalline is already on it there. Big mistake by Hubert. That was his
Scotland not doing damage.
That was his fight to win, and now he's in a real toilet of a situation.
Christus, a strange man. He said that Hugo/Hubert is in a toilet of a situation. And I agree. So episode 2.
Yes.
After this fight, are we going to get it? Hugo pushing in. Crystalline on the run, doing a good job of keeping the distance here. Now turning around up the stairs she goes. And Hugo can't do a thing. 81 health, 4 rockets, no other weapons. He would be hard-pressed to do much from here. He's going to try anyway. I'm wrong.
To Hubert's credit, he has been making that gap, taking that gap back, but Crystalline fights like the devil to keep him away.
This is the thing. He's catching. But can you tell me what that number, not quite at the bottom of the screen, sort of center bottom of the screen says?
6 minutes played.
Yeah. We are playing a 10-minute duel.
Yes.
He's got to make up 9 frags very quickly here.
Yes, and he has made up 4 frags.
In what, 4 minutes?
In 3 minutes.
Has to up the pace. Big rocket from Hugo. Lost track of her. Up the jump pad she goes. Could be in harm's way. 2 rails away from putting Hugo down, though. And I think that would be the game.
Hugo
I
lost
don't
track
believe he can die
of
one more
Crystalline
time.
there. She got away. He expected her to go up the stairs and follow that trail instead. But
rockets are good here.
And
There's the telly. Bravery? No. Now, after the 25, comes in. A little bit unexpected with that delay. Rail off the mark from Crystalline. Now, jumping over potentially to the LG. Doombringer's a hard game. We've all been.
Yeah. It's learning the moving physics is always a challenge, especially when.
Yes.
coming
Even if
from-
he was called Quake 3 Arena in League of Legends.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to roast him a bit for that. But although hitting the grenade,
Yep.
LG is good. It's not as good as the grenade, let's just be honest. Gotling, though. In that position, we've seen that in the very highest level of games. The Gotling, where it's placed, is actually one of its best spots for its use.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting how that works out.
It's easy to underestimate how fast that Gotland can drain your health.
Let's talk damage numbers. 25.
25 for the Gotland per bullet hit. And that 4 bullets and you kill a fresh spawn.
And you know what happens if you have a quad damage in FFA?
Makes you 4 times the more damage.
That's called like 10 rockets every 2 seconds.
Yes.
Good stuff. What a game this is.
But the lightning gun is probably my favorite, except for the shotgun, super shotgun.
144 big ones from the SSG.
Yeah. It will wreck your day before you even have time to blink.
And your night. It'll wreck your night. I've had some of my nights wrecked by the SSG.
But it's so much fun when
Man
you're the
makes
one
game
when
says
you're,
it's fun.
when you're the one that hits that shotgun.
Yeah.
When you're the one getting hit by it.
Yeah. That's Doombringer.
It's not as fun, but it's still fun. You're kind of happy for the person that hit it.
Questionable zoom from Hugo there. Is he going to get the spread? Do you believe? I don't believe.
He is really chasing Crystalline, and she is playing very defensively really now. And
I'm ready to call it. I'm ready to call it, Christus. Tell me not to.
We are 1 minute away from calling time here, and I mean, Hugo has broken the flow of frags that Crystalline was taking at the beginning, but he has not been able to make up those frags.
I'm going to ask you perhaps a question we need to edit out. We'll see. Are we about to give a bottle of champagne to someone that barely drinks?
Oh, she doesn't drink at all.
Are we about to give a... It's a good prize.
Yeah.
I'll borrow it. Here we are then, 30 seconds to go. It is all but over. Now, I don't think... Oh, dear, what? That was a good shot.
That was like a crowning moment of this match.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do. 15 seconds to go then until we have our Realms Deep 2022
Doombringer
champion. There's no other
Grand Doombringer.
No. Well, sure, the Doombringer. The Doombringer. 3, 2, 1. There we have it. We have our winner. It is Crystalline. Crystalline, would you like to come get some champagne? Anyway, Christus.
Yes.
It's been a great show. It's been a lot of fun. Here we are once again at Realms Deep 2022 with Doombringer. Just before we give away this wonderful bottle of champagne, what do you have to say to the people? Where do they need to go? What do they need to know?
Doombringer.eu for everything Doombringer. We will have links to all the Discords and everything.
And the YouTube with all our VODs.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Well, inside joke, don't worry.
Yes, get the game for free to play the multiplayer. It's listed as demo on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
But please send me some money for the single player.
Send him money so he can buy me. You're going to get me a chili in a moment?
Getting a Highland Park.
Getting a Highland Park, you're the best. Anyway. This has been Doombringer at Realms Deep 2022. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Go play this game. It's amazing. You're amazing. Everyone here is amazing. Crystalline is on her way. She's very uncomfortable, as are all Doombringer Grand Champions. But here she is, the Doombringer. You got to come over here. Hello, Crystalline.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Easy?
No, it was a great time.
Easy. Here we go then, and that was Doombringer at Realms Deep 2022. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
It is fun, dude.
Can I get a handshake?
Now what's the price for second place?
How you guys feel about it? It was a good match?
It was fun.
When are you gonna get revenge, Hubert?
Never.
Next round, Steve.
Yeah, next one. Yeah. First place next time. Then I will do it.
Nice.
There it was, Realms Deep 2022. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. First of all, we are here at the end. Best Realms Deep yet?
I think so. A lot of content, a lot of developers came out to give everybody a huge showcase over 3 days, whether it be a trailer, interview, longer gameplay demo. We really saw the entire gamut of what kind of the indie shooter space and a lot of other genres as well.
Wow, really exciting, especially for this company right here, moving into some new stuff. But you know what we haven't done? I'm Joel. I'm GMT. He's Jahar.
Yeah.
We've been behind the scenes working very hard, very diligently on making this the best show that we can for the sake of you guys, but also primarily the developers. These guys are making incredible games. They're making incredible trailers, and we would love to give them the absolute best. And if we're honest, it is window dressing possible. That's us. But we tried. We really hope that they appreciate it. We really hope you enjoyed it as well. And we have some people to thank that did it with us, obviously. Number one, man in our hearts.
Jared Bear.
Jared Bear. What a guy. So, he was your host yesterday and the day before, you know, the good host. And, I mean, morally, not quality of entertainment. You know, obviously. Jared Bear, host yesterday, day before. You know what he also was?
The entire organizer.
The entire.
Everything. Every schedule. He put together the itinerary for both days. Did it all remotely, which is insane. Got everything really well organized. So thank you, Jared, so much, and everybody else. You know, give him a big shout out as well.
Who gave you all the trailers?
Jared Bear.
How many were there?
Loads.
Jared Bear. We got to thank some other people as well. Of course, our producers. Of course, the executive producers. Of course, our runners. They're going to be in the credits in just a sec. And if you know any of them, thank them on our behalf as well. What a show it's been. One major injury.
Only one.
Only
That's
one.
That's a record for us, yeah. Over 3 days of a LAN party, and let me tell you, running around a LAN party with a camera is a bit of a recipe for disaster, but...
That's why you don't do it.
That's why you do it. This is the main man here, yeah.
You thought Ty was a stunt guy?
No.
Jumping on not boxes and jumping through definitely not empty boxes? That guy's not a stunt man?
Yeah.
The stairs?
Try
the
doing
balcony?
it with equipment on your back.
The stairs
yeah.
to the balcony? Precarious. But it's been a hell of a 3 days. It's been really fun. I mean, day one.
Yeah.
Super polished. All about the games. Really exciting for everybody watching because you know what you're in for. The next year for you is going to be great, right? Day two.
Yeah.
Bit of a slower pace, a little bit more in depth.
Very.
And we got to highlight some wonderful streamers as well. Guests doing
thank
the demos.
you to everybody who came out and recorded content for that.
Yes. And of course, a lot of people on set as well. I put them in cages.
You did some borderline illegal things, but you know that's what makes it a good LAN party, right?
Borderline? Borderline.
Borderline.
Yeah. Went into someone on the toilet as well. I hope you enjoyed that. That was my highlight.
But because of all that, we got a lot of content that was shot, a lot of multiplayer stuff, a lot of just LAN party hijinks. And while I'm skirting on back to the Tasty Spleen Studios, there's going to be a lot of that put together and put on the YouTube, so go ahead and check that out. Today, a little bit weird, a little bit strange, a little bit off in left field, but that's just an indication of how crazy the weekend has been for us and everybody involved. So it's been a good time.
And just not to get down because this is a great moment. Just apologies to the developers that maybe didn't get their fair shake, but I promise you, it's going to be on the YouTube. It's going to be in better quality for it. And I hope you go and check that out. There were some great games we didn't highlight as much as we would like. Go.
And yeah, the fun continues.
And you can go shut your laptop down. I'm going to go elsewhere, but really I'm going to be leaving this weekend with a lot of really great memories, and I hope you do as well. So once again, thank you for joining in for Realms Deep 2022, and we hope to see you next year.